I was really looking forward to Now Museum, Now You Don't. They sounded exactly like my kind of Simpsons episode. And unfortunately, there were one and a half things I liked about it, and that's it. This is the third episode of the 32nd season of The Simpsons, directed by Timothy Bailey. And Lisa is looking through a book about the history of art, in particular Western art, and as she goes through each chapter, she envisions this art, and we go back in time to various time periods, and various characters in Springfield take on these different roles, and we explore these different art movements. And it sounds like it's could be so amazing, and it was so boring. The stories themselves, I don't feel like they got the best out of them. I feel like most of the characters, not just the artists in question, but a lot of the others were just, the supporting characters were just so boring and not that interesting. There were a few bits that were well written, and certainly it was well animated, and I like seeing the different art styles kind of juxtaposed with the Simpsons style. That certainly worked quite well. But honestly, I just found it to be so dull. Maybe my hopes were too high. Maybe I expected too much from it. But it sounded like it could have been amazing, and it was generally a tremendous disappointment. Now, I can't be too disappointed in something that celebrates art, that encourages an interest in the history of art. That's something that I'm fascinated by. And I should point out, I can't draw, I can't paint, I have no visual artistic ability, but I do love the history of art. So it spoke to me in that regard, and I think it's a great thing that it's encouraging viewers to think about this. But unfortunately, I didn't think it was very entertaining, so I'm not sure if it's going to really captivate anybody if they're generally not that bothered about the history of art anyway. There were two bits, well, as I said, one and a half bits that I loved. And the half bit is Frida Kahlo. I love Frida Kahlo. I think she's very fascinating, and to see Marge's Frida Kahlo was interesting enough, and to see the paintings that Marge's Frida Kahlo was painting, I quite liked. But the actual narrative that the Frida Kahlo segment presented was just not interesting, so I can't even say I fully liked it, so I'm giving it a half point. One bit that I did love, and I guess this is a spoiler for something very specific that happens, but this is the last thing I have to say about the episode, because to be honest, there's not much else to say. Very well animated, a very creative idea, but poorly executed. But the one thing that I did really enjoy, as brief as it was, is right at the end. So a spoiler for how the episode ends. Well, kind of how the episode ends. It's at the very end, once we have those little random bits that come after the main narrative, and we have Mo singing the story of Vincent van Mo, and he's singing Vincent, or Starry Starry Night, which is a beautiful song, and he's singing it as Barry Barry Night. And we have Mo interacting with various Van Gogh paintings, and I thought it was beautiful. I love the song, so that really helped, and I just thought it was a really, really beautiful way to end an otherwise very mediocre episode, so I loved that. And I liked the fact that Frida Kahlo was in it. I liked the creativity with the paintings of Marge's Frida Kahlo. But other than that, I feel let down. I had high hopes for it, and it didn't even come close to meeting those hopes, unfortunately. So I can't say I hated it, because I liked the idea, and there are a few, very few, good bits here and there. But generally, it could have been so, so much better.